All right, you guys, I'm muting you all. I appreciate you. Let's dive in. So lying on our backs for a moment. And just honoring for a second that here we are. We're not stuck at home. We are safe at home. We're safe at home. And sadly, there are people that are not safe at home. So right there, just in that simple awareness, that simple shift in perspective, we have something to be extremely grateful for. And so as we move through gratitude, we really have the opportunity to shift the entire vibration of our day. And we have an opportunity to be a tuning fork. And as we move through our days and we come across other humans and their vibration, we have an opportunity for them to tune to us instead of us tuning to them. So we lay here in gratitude that we have people all the way in Hong Kong. We have community members, friends, brothers and sisters in Hawaii, in Washington, in Los Angeles, in New York City. We have this opportunity to connect with people all over the globe. And what's beautiful about that is that we need each other. We're made of the same juicy substance. We need connection. And what's even more beautiful about that is we can find so many ways to create connection. We can reinvent the wheel over and over again. So just laying for a moment and start to pay attention to the internal dialogue. So what's happening inside of you? Start to notice the rise and fall of your breath. Notice if it's coming from your heart space, if it's coming deep from in your belly. And then maybe placing one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart and just bringing yourself into your body. And maybe we can even start by saying actually to the body, thank you, body. Thank you, body, for housing me, for keeping me safe, for processing all the things that I forget to process, all the things that I repress, you store and hang on to for a later date so that I can later dive in and find healing and growth. And then from here, deep breath in through the nose, filling up your chest, let the sternum rise and expand. Hold it at the top and see if you can suck in a little bit more air. And then open up the mouth and let something fall out of you. Another big breath in like that. Deep breath in through the nose. Even bigger, suck up a little bit more, that life breath. And then open up the mouth, let something out the mouth. This time, another big breath in. Fill your chest up. And as you exhale like a baby, like a child, flutter your lips like raspberries. And if that felt good, welcome. And if that felt silly, welcome. And notice the stories that you tell yourself about all the things that you do. One more time, big breath in, fill up your chest, let the lungs expand. And then let a sound out the mouth. And then we're here. From here, go ahead, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Hug the knees into the chest, roll out the ankles for a moment, roll out the lower back. Maybe you feel a little massage in the lower lumbar and the kidneys. And then you're gonna reach just right between your knees. You're gonna grab the outsides of your feet and then pull the feet towards the ceiling and put as much of your spine on the mat as possible so you're moving into a happy baby. And so in this happy baby, we're immediately reminded of being a child in this super vulnerable state, our chest open, our legs open, we're on our backs. And just breathe in there. From here, take the right leg in, let the left leg extend. Can you reach the left leg super far out in front of you so you feel the front hip flexor open? Flex the toes and then pull the right knee all the way in. Once you pull the right knee in, go ahead, let it fall open towards the right side. So you're working an external rotation of the hip first. And as you do that, press the left hamstring down towards the mat. Pull the navel in. And then from here, bring the knee up towards the center. Take the right arm out to the side, push the right hand into the earth, and then big breath in, exhale, bring the right leg all the way across the body. And then from here, bring the knee back to center. Switch to the opposite side. So the right leg goes out in front, lengthen it long. Pull the knee in a whole bunch. Once you do that, grab the knee with the left hand and work that external rotation, so letting the hip open up towards the left. And you may notice that you're living in a tighter body or a more open body. Maybe the last few weeks has created a lot of contraction. Maybe there's been expansion. Whatever there is, don't judge it. Just breathe through it. Be aware of it. Bring the knee back together and bring it to the opposite side of the body now. And so the left arm goes out to the side. The left knee goes towards the right. You keep the left scapula planted. And then slowly bring yourself back to center. From here, hug your knees into your chest again, roll out your ankles. Give your ankles big, giant rollouts. So internal and then external, move them to the right, to the left, just rolling out, start to creak up that ankle joint. Think about that little tiny ankle joint that supports your body all day long. Get a little blood flow in there just by rolling them open and back. From here, hug your knees into your chest. Go and slowly rock yourself forward and back. So you're massaging the back body, feeling the posterior chain slowly start to wake up, getting some blood flow through the back, through the spine. And then go ahead, rock yourself up, crisscross your feet, and bring yourself onto all fours. So from all fours, go ahead and make sure the wrist creases are parallel with the top of the mat. And then from here, press the chest away. Think of lifting the armpits away from the ground. The pointer fingers point towards the front of the room, but also they're parallel with the sides of your mat. From here, put a little bit of bend in the elbows, engage the biceps, and then put the knees directly underneath you. From here, inhale, heart reaches, open up the chest, kick the tailbone high, and then let the chin lift a little bit more. And then exhale, draw the navel in, draw the chin down, press and protract your shoulder blades for your cow pose. And then inhale, heart reaches, collarbones broad, and find cat or cow. And then inhale, round again and find your cat pose. So press a whole bunch in the upper thoracic so you can feel your spine pushing against your back body and your scapula start to feel like they're peeling open. And then inhale again, heart reaches. And then exhale, bring yourself right back. This time bring it to neutral spine. From here, take the right shoulder and just take the right ear, touch the right shoulder. Try your best anyway. So you're just gonna turn your head towards the right. You're trying to touch the right ear to the right shoulder without jamming the right shoulder forward. And then move the left shoulder towards, the left ear towards the left shoulder. Feel the right side of the neck open up. Good, one more time. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. And then the left ear to the left shoulder. And notice if that feels tight in the scalenes and the sides of the neck. Good, and then from here, gazes forward, reach the heart forward. And exhale, round and protract one more time. From this protracted position, go ahead, take your toes straight back, straighten your legs, and find an exaggerated plank pose. So what I mean by that is you're pressing and rounding through the shoulders, so there's a big mound. Good, now from here, drop the shoulders and the heart down, and let the heart sink so you're kind of collapsing into your scapula. This is where I don't ever want you to be, copy? So if that's ever happening, you're just gonna drop to your knees, and then you're gonna press the ground away. Once you drop to your knees, shift forward, let the elbows come back and slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. You're gonna uncurl your toes, so lift the right leg up and pull it back, lift the left leg up and pull it back. Take the arms to the sides of the mat so they're outside of your mat. Tense your fingers a whole bunch. Big breath in, and as you exhale, press through the fingertips and lift your heart. Draw the scapula down the back, the shoulder heads roll back, and you should feel the back body start to engage. All 10 toes are on the mat. And then see if you can engage your quads, but release your glutes. And then slowly roll it back down. So we're just warming up the back body, talking to the posterior chain. One more time, big breath in. As you exhale, lift the heart, press the arms into the earth. All 10 toes are pressing into the earth. Relax your glutes. And then slowly lower down. Good. From here, you're gonna take the hands just behind your breastplate. Keep your legs on the mat like this. From here, fingertips face forward, elbows point back. Big breath in, and as you exhale, press with the hands, lift the back body, but keep your torso and your legs on the mat. So this is your baby cobra. We're using the back muscles to lift. We're broadening through the chest. This is a modification. All 10 toes are touching the mat. And then slowly lower down. From here, you're gonna find that again. Big breath in, baby cobra. Now press up onto your knees. So now you're on hands and knees. Then you're gonna tuck your toes, bending the knees, bring yourself back into downward facing dog. So that's kind of gonna be your modified vinyasa. If we move through our vinyasas and you start to feel like you're dumping in your shoulders, we wanna make sure we protect the body first. From here, you're gonna inhale, shift forward to plank pose. Remember, protract in the shoulders. Slowly lower elbows in, hover in your chaturanga if you can. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. Good, so in your first real downward facing dog, we're gonna set up our alignment. So wrist creases parallel to the front of the mat, all 10 fingers spread nice and wide. The biceps are moving forward, the triceps are spinning back, and you're thinking of the traps moving away from the upper neck. You're lifting the hips up and back. Maybe there's a bend in the knees so that you can create more space in the lower lumbar. And then once you find that, you start to drop the heels. The heels are in line with the second toe behind you. Good, and then from here, shift forward to plank, top of a push-up. Slowly lower elbows in, pause, shoulders in line with elbows. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. One more time like that. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Slowly lower, draw the elbows in, hover if you can. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Remember that the scapula pressing the back of the heart forward. The chin is tucked in a little bit. And then tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. From there, you're gonna walk your hands all the way back to your feet. And then you're just gonna hang here in your first Uttanasana, so your first forward fold. Can you release the crown of the head all the way down towards the mat? And then slowly bend your knees a little bit more, rest your torso on your thighs. And let this be a little bit more of a restorative forward fold, so your hamstrings aren't screaming yet, you're just kind of hanging here. And then go ahead and put your hand on the crown of your head. This is my favorite thing. Imagine there's a little gate or doorway at the crown of your head. And I'd like you to turn the key and let the door fall open on its hinges. So gravity just pulled the door open, and from there, from the crown of your head, any of the worry, any of the anxiety, any of the stress, any of the nastiness, the shit, the muck, the dirt, the fear, the stuff that's in your mind right now, the pain, the resentment, whatever it is, whatever's up there that's thick and murky and mucky, let's honor it and then let it fall out of us. So see it drain onto the mat below you. And so we need all of those feelings to teach us things and help us navigate what we do and don't want, but we don't have to hold on to them. We don't have to live in them. They don't have to move in. They just get to be travelers. So let that fall out of your head space. And then once you see every last drop of that, go ahead, close the little door, turn the key. And now you have this freedom, this empty space upstairs, and you get to fill it with whatever you'd like. From here, hands come to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in again. Maybe you straighten the legs a little bit more. And then inhale, halfway lift, hands to the hips, and then come all the way up to standing. Good, and then we're gonna come to the top of our mat for Tadasana. So in Tadasana, your toe knuckles are gonna touch each other, your heels are gonna be behind your second toe. You're gonna lift the frontal hip points up. So what I mean by that is when you're standing, you're not kind of dumping in however your lower lumbar likes to do. Mine super arches anterior. So you wanna make sure you're lifting from the pelvic floor, engaging through Mula Bandha. Open up the chest, shoulder heads roll back, and then hands to heart. Hands to heart center for a moment. And so before we move into Surya Namaskar A, which is a moving meditation to the sun, we want to honor the light inside of all of us. So for a moment, I'd like you to find where in life the light is. Where is the sun shining on you? What about your life, about your world, can you be grateful for? And once you have that intention, we're going to open up this practice with one collective Om. So we'll inhale from root to crown chakra for Om. Deep breath in. Letting the vibration that connects the entire universe unite us all, moving through this feeling of union and connection, knowing that none of us are in this alone. From here, inhale, arms reach, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold the whole pelvis over the thighs, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, collarbones broaden, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back slowly to your plank, slowly lower through your version of Chaturanga. Inhale to your up dog or cobra, and exhale, draw the navel in, push the hips back, downward facing dog. From that downward facing dog, can you take a little bit of an inventory, send your breath, you breathe up through the fingertips, you exhale down the back side of the body, the heels get closer to the earth. Inhale, the back ribs expand, and exhale, the hips move higher to the ceiling. From here, big breath in, fill up your chest. Bending the knees at the end of your breath step or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Root down through the feet, rise all the way up, arms reach to the sky, or the Hastasana, hands in front of the heart, Tadasana. Good, and then we move through that a few times. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, heart reaches, collarbones broaden, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, slowly lower through your Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. And so as we move through our practice, we try to move one breath per movement. And we think about creating our inhales to be about 4 to 5 counts and our exhales about 5 to 6 counts. From here, inhale, hips back. Exhale, bend your knees, step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold in. Sink through the heels, reach up through the fingertips high, or the Hastasana, hands in front of the heart, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach, starting to build a little heat in the body. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your heart, chest halfway, hands to the mat, step back to plank, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna step the right foot between the hands. You'll just drop the left knee to the mat. Uncurl the left toes, and then pull the right femur back into its hip socket, and then slowly start to lift yourself up. So from here, you want that front knee to be right over the ankle, and immediately you might feel this opening up the left hip flexor. Sink deep in the front hip, and then lift through Mula Bandha. So you're starting to lift your pelvic floor, pubic to navel zips up, and then inhale, arms reach. Lift through the fingertips. Can you relax the shoulders? Fill up your chest. Exhale, maybe you're able to sink a little bit deeper in the front thigh. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Think of pressing the heart forward, maybe breaking down some armor. And then exhale, hands to the mat. You're gonna take both hands to the inside of the right foot, and then you're just gonna move the right foot to the right a little bit. Once you're there, you're gonna put your right hand on your right knee, and you're gonna push the right leg open, so you're on the outer seam of the right foot. And then you're gonna work your gaze towards the ceiling. So you're twisting towards your right as the right knee is falling, few breaths. And then slowly bring the foot back down. From here, curl the back toes of your left leg. Engage that leg straight and strong. Press through the left arm and slightly find your twist. So it's gentle first twist. So you lift the right arm towards the ceiling. The back leg is straight and strong. You're pressing the heel back. Good, and then move that arm in 3 big circles. Take it behind you for 1, 2, 3. Good, lift it back up to the ceiling. Nice, and then take that hand down to the mat. Step the foot back, keep your knees up if you can, or drop down to your knees. We're gonna shift forward onto the tipsy toes, and we're gonna take 5 push-ups. Elbows back for Chaturanga push-ups. Take it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push yourself right back up into downward facing dog. Good, from your down dog, step your left foot between your hands, drop the right knee down, uncurl the right toes. From here, inhale, rise up, find this low lunge, and then check in with the lower lumbar again. So you wanna lift the frontal hip points, sink deep. Good. Pull the left femur back, and then the knee is right over the ankle. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, let the traps release. Reach high through the fingertips so the arms are active, but sink deep in the front hip. And then stay connected to your breath. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, cactus the arms open, press the heart forward. Inhale, arms reach again. And exhale, take the hands to the mat. So both hands to the inside of the left foot. Now you're gonna move the left foot to the left. Take the left hand on top of the left knee and just gently open it up to the side. So we're not forcing anything. right? Yoga is more about investigating and playing with the body than forcing it. And then once you're there, look up a little bit, press the ground away with that right arm. So if you really press out of that right arm, you should feel the right hip flexor open up even more. And then slowly bring it back to center. Good, from here, you're gonna take the right hand down, lift the left arm up, and lift the right leg up high. So the femur is off of the ground. Good, find that twist. Right ribs roll under, left ribs roll up. And then we're gonna take 3 big circles with that arm. So opening up the shoulder joint for 1, 2, 3. Nice. Go ahead and put the hands back down. You're gonna step the foot back. This time take your hands almost as wide as your mat or maybe wider depending on your shoulders. Turn the fingers out just a little bit and you're gonna find your push-ups either on your knees or out in plank at a 45-degree angle. So the elbows are going back at 45. So shift forward on the tips of your toes, drop down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push yourself back into your plank and move it back into downward facing dog. Good, big breath in through the nose. Let something out the mouth. From here, inhale the hips up and back. At the end of your breath, bend your knees, look forward, step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up, Ardha Hastasana. Hands to the heart, Tadasana. Good, so a few breaths here. You guys can hear me okay, yeah? Thumbs up? Okay, great. From here, inhale, arms reach. Sink deep, Utkatasana chair pose. So we're gonna drop down into our chair pose. So in chair pose, there's so much to think about. So first of all, your big toes touch each other. Your heels are a little bit separated. They're behind your second toe. You're pulling the lower belly in. You're softening tailbone towards the floor. And then you're trying to get your knees at a 90-degree bend. It doesn't normally happen. Pull the front ribs in. Lift the arms up towards the sky, but be mindful that you have an upward rotation in the scapula. So you're not trying to pinch your shoulders like this. You want to make sure that the thumbs go up and the pinkies go down, so that it's upward rotation in the scapula to protect the neck. Just checking you guys out. Good. Perfect. Sinking deep and letting the fire build in the body. Pull the lower belly in. Good, and then root to rise, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Good, inhale, arms reach. Sink deep, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Go ahead, put your torso all the way on your thighs as you fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank. Slowly lower through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. From here, you're gonna lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep the hip parallel though, so you're not opening up to the side wall. You're just gonna reach the right leg back as much as you can. A few breaths. Arms straight and strong. Good, from here, bend your right knee. Exhale, bring the knee forward towards the nose and then just protract those upper shoulders like we talked about earlier. Find that. Hold that, hold that. And then inhale back to related dog. Exhale, this time take the knee all the way diagonal towards the left tricep. Hold that there. Try to square your shoulders to the front of the room still. Hold it. And then inhale straight back. Exhale, take the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Hold it, protract the shoulders. And then slowly take the knee down towards the wrist. Breath in. Exhale, bring it back up to the tricep. Inhale, take it back down to the wrist. Exhale, bring it back up to the tricep. Exhale, down to the wrist. And back up to the tricep. Good, and then inhale it all the way back, three-legged dog. And then step the foot between the hands. You're gonna turn the back foot, and we're gonna set up for Virabhadrasana too. So we have a heel to arch alignment. So that means that your feet are on a tightrope, and the heel of the front foot is in line with the arch of the back foot. Bending in the front knee, rise up, and we'll set ourselves up for Virabhadrasana too. My microphone is so cattywampus. So, lots of things to refine again. Inner thigh is spinning towards the outer. This knee is in line with the second toe. We're trying to get a 90-degree bend in the front foot. It doesn't usually happen. Lift the right hip a little bit and then reach to the front and back of the room. Your back leg is just as important as your front leg. Gaze over the right fingertips. Firm the outer edge of the back foot into the mat. Think of lifting through the inseam of the left thigh. almost like the arch of the inside of the left foot could lift, and then sink a little bit deeper and check in that the crown of your head is in fact right over your tailbone. Check in that you're not jutting to the future like this. So you're stacking yourself tall. Sink deep, pull the lower belly in, and then you find your stillness. And notice how challenging the stillness can be. And then that is the yoga. And so we remember that we come back to our breath. We work on those long inhales and the even longer exhales. And then we notice the stories that come up. All of a sudden, there are pieces of your body that start talking to you. Can you just be the observer of the story, or do you let the feelings become facts? Is it unmanageable, or is it just uncomfortable? And all of these things are kind of a metaphor for what we're going through right now. From here, flip the front palm to the ceiling. Inhale, reach up and back, open up the chest. So think of opening up the right side body, even though you're deep in the front knee. Big breath in, and now as you exhale, press to the heel of that right leg, straighten the front leg. Reach up, so it's one long line of energy from your big toe all the way to your big finger. And then exhale, sink deep. Good. From here, you're gonna inhale, reach forward a whole bunch. Take the right hand to the inside of that right thigh. You can put it to the inside of the right foot, and then lift the left arm to the ceiling. Roll the right ribs underneath you. If you immediately you're like, that's a little challenging, that's not manageable, then I want you to take this here. Modification. So you'll take a bent elbow, you'll put the forearm on the thigh, and then you'll sink deep. Right ribs roll under you, left arm reaches, a few breaths. Wherever you are, you're gonna move the left arm towards the front of the room. So you're finding that upward rotation that we had in Utkatasana, so the scapulohumeral rhythm. You're finding that here. Good, one more big breath in. Now look down at the right foot, bring yourself all the way back up, Virba 2, and then straighten the front leg. Woosah. Go ahead, put both feet facing forward. Maybe a little hip movement in that hip joint. Good, so now both toes are gonna point in a little bit. Your heels are gonna point out. Firm the outer ankles in, hands on your hips. From here, big breath in. And as you exhale, rotate that whole pelvic wheel forward, but firm the outer ankles in, firm the outer gluteus medius, and then take the hands down towards the mat. Once you're there, you're gonna walk your hands even further if you can. Shift your weight into the balls of the feet a little bit more, so it's less in the heels, more in the balls of your feet. Your toes aren't gripping though. Firming the outer ankles, firming the inner thighs, few breaths, let the shoulders release. And then slowly walk your hands out in front of you. Make a long spine, and then walk yourself even more forward. So a little bit of that weight is more in the balls of the feet. Take the right hand down just underneath your nose. Keep your hips exactly where they are. Take the left hand to the lower lumbar. Once you have your left hand on your lower lumbar, big breath in, and as you exhale, start to press out of the right hand and find a gentle twist. But you're using that left hand to keep your hips nice and neutral. So now we're finding a little bit of a twist through the torso, firming the outer ankles in. You're still very active in the legs. If you engage the quads, you'll feel the kneecaps lift, and that's the right cue so that you know that you're in your legs still. And then if that feels good, you can lift the left arm towards the ceiling. Remember that you're pressing and extending through the arms. Few breaths here. When you feel the shake and quake, that means you're there. You're there, you're changing neural pathways, you're building new muscle memory, you're challenging the body, you've reached your edge, your limit, and that's where you want to be, as long as it's gentle and graceful. And then from here, slowly take the hand back to the lower lumbar. Look down at the left hand, take the left hand down, look down at the right hand, take the left hand down where the right is, press the ground away first, zip up lower belly, right hand to lower lumbar. Big breath in, and as you exhale, press out of the left arm, find your twist. Once you find it, lift the right arm high. But still try to keep those hips neutral. And then notice maybe this is your tighter side, maybe this is your looser side. Are you firming your outer ankles in? Are your gluteus medius still engaged? Are your quads still active? Invite as many muscles to the party as possible. And then slowly take the right hand back down. Go ahead, from here, walk yourself even further back again. So Prasarita maybe your hands go even further. A little shift in perspective as we have the heart over the head. And then slowly walk yourself back out. From here, hands on the hips, firm the outer booty in, inhale, come all the way up. Nice. From this point, you're gonna spin the inseam of your left thigh towards the back of the room. So we're moving now towards the back of the mat for Virabhadrasana 2. Again, you're still on a heel to arch alignment. Sink deep, reach to the front and back. Good, and then check in. Is the back edge of that foot pressing into the earth? Gaze is over the left hand and then sink deep. Firm the outer ankle. Remember that the toes of the left foot, they could lift because you're pressing through the heel and the balls of the feet. Crown of the head is right over the tailbone, and then we find the discomfort in our Virabhadrasana 2, and we sit in it and we invite it and we welcome it and we breathe through it. Can you spin the inseam of the left thigh open a little bit more towards the second toe? Pull the left hip back. Good. From here, flip that front palm. Inhale, reach up and back, reverse your warrior, but remember, you're not collapsing in the right side. You're lifting up out of the right and the left, finding space on the left side of the body, and then go ahead, straighten the front leg. Reach up and back, so one long line of energy from your left big toe to your left pointer finger. And then exhale, bring yourself back to Virabhadrasana 2. Nice. From here, inhale, shift forward. You're gonna take the hand to the inside of that front leg and then lift the right arm towards the ceiling. So you're rolling the left ribs under, you're reaching the right ribs up. Your back is falling back a little bit like you're fitting yourself between two sheets of glass. You're sinking deep in the front knee. And if you feel like that's a lot for that side of your body, you're gonna find the modification. Remember, have zero attachment to what this looks like. Really just be in for what it feels like. So we're in this to create sensation to get us back in our bodies. And when we connect with body, we connect with presence. And when we connect with presence, then we get to know what's really actually going on, not the stuff that's filling our minds from the external voices and what am I trying to say without cussing? Go ahead, slowly bring yourself back up to Virabhadrasana 2. It's hard to watch your language here, guys. Go ahead, straighten that front leg. Good, now put the toes back in. So we're coming back to Prasarita. This time, you're gonna take your hands, interlace them behind the back. Open up the chest a whole bunch. Can you press the heart forward? Pull the hands down towards the tailbone. Inhale, the heart reaches. And then exhale, pull the belly in. Slowly find yourself folding forward. And as you fold forward, try not to collapse your shoulders into your neck like this. Still extend and reach through the fingers. And then your gaze moves back behind you. Your fingers are falling forward. Your outer edges of your feet are engaged. Squeeze your glute med. A few more breaths. Good, and then using the hands, inhale, pull yourself all the way up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Go ahead, step your feet to the front of your mat. Maybe a little hip swivel, get the blood circulating again. Hands to heart, Samasthiti. Nice job, you guys. Inhale, arms reach, sink deep with Uttanasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, collarbones broaden, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to your plank, slowly lower through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Remember, your thighs are off the mat, your legs are strong and active. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. You're gonna step the right foot between the hands, move the right foot to the right and the left foot to the left, and then drop the left foot down. So now our feet are on more like a train track situation. Pull the right hip back, and then lift the heart, but stay low for a moment. Take your right hand to your right hip crease and pull it back. And then engage the left leg a whole bunch, and then inhale, rise up. So once you're sink deep in the front knee, pull the right hip back. Inhale, the arms reach. And then find your first Virabhadrasana 1. So we're trying to get our hips to move to the front of the room. This rotation isn't super comfortable for a lot of bodies, and that's why we're in it. But we want to be mindful and gentle in it. Take the left arm forward. That's the direction your left hip is trying to go. Sink a little bit deeper. And then inhale the left arm back up. Pull the front ribs in, sink deep. Inhale, arms reach to the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step back to plank. Take it through your chaturanga. Remember, you always have an opportunity to drop to your knees or to push it straight back into downward facing dog. From here, left foot steps between the hands. Move the left foot to the left, right foot to the right. From here, sink the hips low first. Pull the left hip back, hand to the hip crease. Inhale, come up. Good. Sink deep. And so we have a masculine side and a feminine side of our body. And so you'll notice that one side is probably a little tighter or more open than the other side. And that doesn't mean anything except for that, right? So your perception is reality. So just breathing through, building a little bit of awareness around what is tight, what's more open. Take the right arm, reach it forward. That's the direction the right hip is trying to go, even though you're pressing the right heel back. Reach the right arm back up, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank, slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, fill up your chest. Exhale, straighten the arms, lengthen the heels towards the floor behind you. Inhale, heart expands. Exhale, the hips reach higher. Inhale, open up the chest. Bending at the knees. Exhale, look forward, step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in Uttanasana. Drop the hips deep, reach the arms high, sink Utkatasana, chair pose. Root to rise, hands to heart, Samastiti. Okay, so now we're gonna invite the element of fire into the body by way of Surya Namaskar B. And so we're gonna do it 3 times, and we're gonna try to link 1 breath per movement, and it's gonna get hot and fiery and sticky, and you'll notice feelings and things come up, and we're inviting that into our body, okay? So we'll do 3 rounds together. And so again, it's a moving meditation. So what in your life, what piece of you is panicking? Let's go there. What piece of you is panicking? What piece of you is stressed? What piece of you is fearful? What piece of you is causing a little stress inside the body? And we use fire to burn, to purify. So as we move through Surya Namaskar B, we invite the fire to burn away whatever it is that's making us a little crazy. So think of what it is for a moment. What is it that you can burn away? Hands to the heart center. And then we move through it, 1 breath per movement. Inhale, arms reach, sink deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold in Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and the exhale takes you all the way back to downward facing dog. The right foot steps between the hands, left foot drops. The inhale brings you all the way up. The exhale takes you all the way down through your chaturanga. Inhale, heart reaches forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. The same breath, left foot comes forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the mat. That takes you all the way to the bottom of your chaturanga. The inhale lifts the heart open. The exhale pulls the hips back. Downward facing dog. And then you have 3 breaths here. Inhale, fill up your chest. Bend the knees, look forward at the end of your breath. Step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sink deep, reach to the sky. Utkatasana, root to rise, hands to heart, Samastiti. Inhale, arms reach, sink deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or lightly float to your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps between the hands, you rise all the way up on that inhale. Exhale takes you all the way through your version of chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps between the hands. Inhale, rise. Exhale, moves you all the way through. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold back in. Downward facing dog. And 2 or 3 rounds of breath here. And so as you feel your blood pumping and the fire starting to move through you, stay present for it. Inhale, feel the chest on an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana, sink the hips deep. Utkatasana, chair pose. Root to rise, hands to heart. Samasthiti. One more time, 1 breath per movement. Inhale, arms reach, sink deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to the mat, step or lightly float to your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps between the hands. Inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hands down, step it through. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold in. Left foot steps between the hands. Bring it all the way up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. And then you have 3 breaths here in this downward facing dog. And so when we start to show up and do this work, and we peel away layers of the onion, we get to see into ourselves a little bit more clearly. But if we judge what we see and we pick apart what we see, then we miss the process. Then we miss the gift of the awareness. So whatever we discover, whatever we see, whatever comes up, we view through the lens of love, through the lens of patience, and through the lens of gratitude. From here, inhale, hips back. Exhale, you're gonna shift forward to the top of your push-up, find your plank pose. From here, you're gonna take the right hand to the inside of the mat, and you're gonna switch onto the right side of the feet. Stack your feet, stack your shoulders, lift the left arm up for Vashisthasana. So once you're here, soften the tailbone towards the heels. And if this feels immediately super challenging on any of your joints, make sure you're bending the elbow a little bit by engaging the bicep. If you need to drop the bottom knee like this, that's absolutely okay. The other option, if you want to stay up, is you can take the left foot and stomp it down in front of you. Find your version of Vashisthasana. Good, and then from here, you're going to lift the left leg up. Few breaths there. Pull the belly in, soften the tailbone towards the heels. One more big breath in. Exhale, put the foot down, put the hand down. Good, you're gonna walk yourself over now. Take the left foot to the inside of the mat, shift onto the side of your left feet. Bend the elbow of the left arm just a little bit by engaging the bicep. Lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Lift the hips high. Remember to pull the lower belly in. Let the tailbone soften towards the heels. If you need to find your adjustment or your modification, feel free. And then from here, lift the right arm up, the right leg up. Hold it up, lift, lift, lift. One more big breath in. Exhale, take the hand, take the foot down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. Nice. From here, you're gonna walk your hands back to your feet again. Walk your hands back to your feet. Go ahead, turn the toes out and the heels in. And then you're gonna sink down into Malasana. So, I'm kind of gonna cheat it for the camera. From your Malasana, I'm gonna face forward so you guys can see. Some of us, we want our heels to kind of be right underneath our sit bones. For some of us, that doesn't work and you might have to be a little bit wider. Find your version. Once you find it, you wanna make sure you're not hunching forward like this. So we don't want a round spine like this. We want a tall spine. Sink deep, press the knees open, open up the chest. Once you're there, notice if you're just kind of sitting in it. And instead of sitting, I want you to lift 2 inches. And once you lift 2 inches, then soften the tailbone down, lift the chest up, spine long. And if immediately you get some sensation or some information in your hips that it's burning or that it's tingling, well, what are you gonna do with that information? A lot of times we have stored energy in the body and the joints, and as soon as there's any sensation around it, we back away from it. But what happens if you breathe through it? What happens if you send your breath there? Remember that every time in life you said no when you meant yes, and every time in life you said yes but you meant no, that's stored somewhere in the body. Maybe that's the sensation that's coming up. And maybe we breathe through it, we break it down, and it moves through us. And then from here, you're gonna press to the heels, rise all the way up to standing. Good, inhale, take yourself all the way down. Exhale, press to the heels, come all the way up to standing. Try to keep your crown of your head right above your tailbone. Inhale, come all the way down. Exhale, press yourself right back up to standing. Inhale, come all the way down. Now you're gonna, from here, press the elbows open into the knees, take the right arm out towards the side, and see if you can open up a little bit more with that right arm, and then move your head towards the left and lift the left arm up. Still trying to keep the spine tall, so you'll feel like you wanna fall forward, but try to lean back a little bit more. Remember that you're still lifting through the lower pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, so you're kind of lifting even though you're squatting. A few more breaths. Good, and then go ahead and take the hands back to center, press yourself all the way up. Inhale takes you down. Exhale presses you up. Inhale takes you down. And this time stay there, lift your spine, lift up a little bit, take the left hand out towards the left, press the knee open with it. Once you have that open, remember to use Mula Bandha, look up towards your right, and then peel the right arm up and open. Try to fall back a little bit more, press the knees out towards the heels, towards the outside of the ankle, few breaths. Notice the sensation, breathe through it. And then exhale, take the elbows back to center, press yourself all the way up. Whew. Inhale back down. Good, from here, take the hands to the mat. Go ahead and walk yourself back into downward facing dog. Nice job, you guys. Those hips should feel juicy and kind of open externally. Lift those hips up and back. From here, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee a whole bunch as you exhale, bring the right knee to the outside of the right tricep again. So you're holding it, you're protracting, you're holding it up. Good, few breaths here. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, take it back up to the right tricep. Take it back. Exhale, take it back to the right tricep. Good, now step the foot between the hands. Drop the back heel at a very sharp angle. You're coming in for Virabhadrasana 1. So inhale, rise up for Virabhadrasana 1. Good, once you're in your warrior 1, interlace the hands behind the back. Open up the chest a whole bunch. Think of pulling the hands away from the lower back, sink deep in the front knee, and then pull the right shoulder back, press the left shoulder forward. From here, inhale the chest up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, but keep the spine long. So we're hinging forward, and we're finding our humble warrior. So when we find humble warrior, what's really important is that you don't collapse this way and stick your ass out to the side and your hands the other direction. So if you look at the screen, this is what I do not want you to do, okay? This is what I want you to do. So the right chest is touching the right knee, and you're sinking deep, pulling the right hip back, right shoulder back, left leg is strong. And then we bow forward. And as the whole world is eating on this beautiful piece of humble pie right now, honor your part in it. A few breaths. Back leg is active. Good, and then from your inhale, rise up. Arms reach to the ceiling. From here, exhale, take your hands to your hips. You're gonna pivot onto the top of your back foot. So now you're setting yourself up for a crescent. So you're on the heel, the toes of your back foot. Now you're gonna bend the left leg to release the lower lumbar and then sink deep in the front knee. So you'll feel that hip flexor open up again. Good, from here, interlace the hands behind the back, same lacing. Open up the chest. As you exhale, shift forward onto your standing leg, lift your left leg up high, find Virabhadrasana 3. So we wanna level out the hips towards the mat, flex the back foot a whole bunch, and then lift the heart forward, and then find our balance. Tuck the right hip back a little bit. Left toes point down. If you wanna find your hands in front of your heart, out to the side, out in front of you, whatever you want, just find your Virabhadrasana 3. And remember that if you fall, you just get right back up. One more big breath in. Good, exhale, take the hands to the mat, and you're gonna find standing splits. So without locking your right leg, so keep a generous bend in the right leg, and then lift the left leg up. You can open it up to the side for a moment, and then square your hips and notice that The range gets a lot smaller once your hips are squared, and that's what we're looking for. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot to meet the other, and then hang here in a forward fold. Maybe you clasp your elbows, gently nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, hands to hips. Exhale, come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Samasthiti. Yeah, move that hip around. Maybe get your water. Full disclosure, you guys, I taught a class and then I ate. And now I'm teaching again and I'm like, might vomit. All right. What a blessing it is that we get to be in our bodies, yeah? Coming back to the top of your mat. Finding your mountain pose, lift the frontal hip points up, hands to heart center, Samasthiti, even standing pose. From here, in arms reach. Exhale, sink deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or lightly foot back to your chaturanga. And then just push yourself straight back into downward facing dog. Good, from here, your left leg floats to the ceiling. Big breath in, bend the knee, exhale, bring it down towards the center of the body. Inhale, bring it right back up. Exhale, take the knee to the outside of the left tricep, hold it there. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale again, bring it right back to the right tricep, hold it there. Inhale, bring it up. And then exhale, step the foot between the hands. So you're setting yourself up again for that Virabhadrasana 1. Move the left foot to the left, right foot to the right. Drop the right heel down and back. And then inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. A few breaths here. So remember to pull the left hip back. From here, interlace the hands behind the back and see if you can remember what the lacing of the hands were. Switch to the opposite lacing. So whichever one feels cattywampus. Interlace hands behind you, square the shoulders, square the hips. Big breath in, and then as we exhale, we fold forward into that big giant piece of humble pie for humble warrior. So again, you're not sticking your booty out and turning your body towards this. You're pulling the left hip back, the right hip is in front. The left shoulder touches the left knee. The back foot is straight and strong. And then you breathe. And notice that the breath quickly becomes the soundtrack of your practice. And in fact, if we were to tune into our breath all day, every day, through every experience, we would know what we were feeling just by the breath pattern. From here, use the hands, inhale all the way up. Good, hands on the hips. You're gonna shift the weight onto the ball of the back foot. Now bend the right knee deeply to open up the hip flexor, protect the lower lumbar, pull the lower belly in, good. Find that lacing again in the hands, open up the chest, sink a little bit deeper. Big breath in, find a focal point on the floor or the wall in front of you, shift your weight onto your left leg and press yourself up into Virabhadrasana 3 on your left side. Try to avoid locking your left leg. You can do it, it's a little bit easier and a little riskier. When we use more muscles, we protect our ligaments and our joints. Lift the back foot high. The heart is reaching forward. And in the arms, I'd like you to think like an up dog or a cobra. So you're not collapsing forward like this. You're lifting, extending. The posterior chain is active as well. If you fall, get right back up. One more big breath in. Exhale, take the hands down to the mat and lift the left leg high. Open it up to the side for a moment, just because that feels good. And then square the hips. Notice the difference in range of motion. Lift the right leg high, toes face the floor. Can you engage the left leg a little bit more so you're not locking the left knee? And then exhale, hands to the mat. I'm sorry, foot to the mat. Go ahead and hang here again, torso on your thighs. Gently nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sink deep, arms reach, Utkatasana, chair pose, and then slowly bring yourself all the way down to the mat and give yourself a hug. So you're sitting on your mat for a second, get your water. Y'all, I'm drenched. I am sweaty. All right. From here, sitting nice and tall, hug your knees into your chest for a second. Pull the shoulders down the back, and then just walk yourself up so you're on your tailbone. And so if you can touch your toes here, that kind of helps you balance sometimes. Flip the palms up like this, arms reach out in front of you, and then tuck your shoulders into their sockets, and then pull the belly in a whole bunch. From here, you're gonna start to lift the legs. So if you are a soul cyclist and your hip flexors are gonna start to scream at you, just try to be as focused on your abdominal wall as much as possible. And remember, unmanageable or uncomfortable, there's a difference. Lift the heart reach. Big breath in, we're gonna lower for 4, 3, 2, 1, pause there. Pull the belly in, look down at your toes, lift the shoulders off the mat. We're gonna come up, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, Navasana, lower for 4, 3, 2, Ardha Navasana. Inhale up for 4, 3, 2, Navasana. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, Ardha Navasana. Shoulders are still off the mat, toes are off the mat. Inhale up for 4, 3, 2. Exhale, slowly lower for 4, 3, 2. Ardha Navasana. Shoulders are off the mat, toes are off the mat. From here, interlace the hands. Bring the hands towards the right side of the body, lift the right leg up. Once you lift the right leg up, lift the right shoulder up even more. As you exhale, take the right leg back down. Right shoulder still off the mat. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, right shoulder's off the mat, take the right leg back down. Inhale the right leg back up. Exhale the right leg back down. Inhale the right leg back up. Try to keep the right shoulder off the mat. From here, hold that, split the arms. Gaze down at your left toe, check out your quarantine pedicure over there. Switch legs, left leg comes up, right leg goes out. From here, interlace the hands, take them to the outside of the left leg. Left shoulder's off the mat. Big breath in, exhale, take the leg down. Inhale, take the same leg back up. Exhale, take the leg down. Inhale, take the same leg back up. Exhale, take the leg down. I might vomit after this. Then I'll bring the leg back up. Exhale, take the leg back down, lift the shoulder up the mat. Inhale the leg back up. Exhale, take the leg down, hold it there. Take the hands, split them, look forward. Take your heels off of the mat. Toes up, chest up, belly in. Good, exhale, bring both legs up, bend your knees for a second, hug them into your chest. Just for 1 second. Reach the legs both up to the ceiling, flex the heels towards the ceiling, interlace the hands behind your head. Elbows nice and wide. Big breath in as you exhale, lift your heart. Once your heart is up, lift it up even higher. Once you're there, reach your toes towards the ceiling, reach your fingertips towards your heels. Take as much of your body off the mat as possible. So the littlest amount of your spine is on the mat. Reach for the heels, reach the toes to the ceiling, take as little of you can, as little amount of your spine on the mat as possible. Lift your hips, lift your shoulders, start to find the shake and quake. Maybe the hands start to reach forward, the feet come closer to the head. Let the shake and quake get deep into the transverse abdominis, so all the way deeper than the six pack, deeper into the abdominal wall. Reach, reach, reach. Few breaths, pull it up, pull it up. Stay there, arms where they are. From here, inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the arms back forward. Inhale, bring the legs up. Exhale, take it forward. Inhale the arms all the way back. Exhale, pull it back in. The sweat of my back is making fart sounds. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, bring it up, you guys. Woo. Inhale, bring it up and back. Exhale, bring it forward. Let it burn. Find the sensation, be in it. Inhale, reach the arms back, legs forward. One more breath. Exhale, bring it all the way up. Hug your knees into your chest. Woo-sa. How you doing? Thumbs up, you guys still alive? You guys good? Thumbs up? Okay. Nice, hug your knees into your chest. My back's making all the farting sounds. What am I, 5? Go ahead and roll yourself forward and back. So now that we have all of that abdominal strength, we're gonna find and play with our crow pose. So for those of you that are like, I don't wanna do crow pose, you can take dolphin. So let me just demonstrate dolphin first for this inversion. And then if you don't wanna do dolphin, but you wanna do bakasana, then we'll go through that too. So for dolphin, you're gonna take your hands just like this. So they're like wall posts. So the wrist is in line with the elbow. Oh my God, I ate way too late. And you're gonna squeeze the elbows in like this. You're pronating the forearms down and you're pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. Once you put this down on the mat, you're gonna tuck your toes together and you're gonna lift your hips up high. So instead of collapsing into your shoulders like this, you wanna press the ground away a whole bunch. This is an inversion because your heart is over your head. You can start to walk the toes forward. This is how you would set up for, oh my God, I just brain farted. This is how you would set up for, oh my God, I can't remember right now. And I know one of you knows and is yelling at me. Come on, Pixie. It'll come back to me. Okay, so you're gonna come into dolphin, right? So first you'll be here. Find your dolphin. And if that feels good, you can lift one leg up towards the ceiling. You could even gently kick if you wanted, or you could switch to the left side and you could kick the left leg up. And eventually there's an arm balance there and I cannot remember it for the life of me right now. Or you'll find yourself in child's pose. If you're like, I don't want to mess with dolphin, I want to do Bakasana because we've been working on that. Then with all that core strength, you'll take your toes together, knees together, take the hands out in front of you, and then you're going to lock the arms super strong, press the ground away, that protraction, lift up on your toes so the heels lift high. Then you'll spread the knees and press your triceps together. Once you press the triceps together, once you shift forward, you're just going to be able to find your crow pose a lot easier. So what we're not doing, this is super important, is you're not putting your knee on top of your arm. So you're not doing this where you're just sitting on your arm and you're going to roll out and fall on your face. So again, toes together, heels high, open the knees, squeeze the triceps together. That makes the contraction in the abdominal wall. And then you can start to lift your toes. That's one version. So play with whatever you want. And if you're like, I'm on my moon, or I don't have the energy, then you just take child's pose for a moment and drop in. Few breaths, and I'm just gonna watch you guys to see if there's anything I need to tell you to help fix anything. Tarek, try that again, but start with your toes touching each other. So put your feet all the way together first. And then, yeah. Now squeeze your knees to the outsides of your triceps and then press the ground away a whole bunch. Good. Claudia, look at you. Nice, Maisie. Nice, Nikki. Squeeze those triceps together with your legs. Nice. Excellent choices, Katya. Nice, Shannon. Start with those toes together. And then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Emily, I like what you're doing. Nice, Krista. Good job, you guys. Okay, so 30 more seconds to play with what you want. If you want to try Pincha Mayurasana, that's what I was looking for. So if you want to move through dolphin, nice, Teresa. All right, and then once you're finished with your inversion, go ahead and take child's pose and just let your body settle. Let your body settle, find your child's pose. And so notice that inversions they're uplifting, they're energy building, they're exhilarating, they bring energy to us. So if you're ever feeling like you're a little depressed or you're having a hard time getting through your day, you can just put yourself in a down dog, play with the dolphin, challenge your balance, get the blood flowing, shift your perspective, and see what happens. All right, and then from here, walk the hands out in front of you in your child's pose, and then press yourself back into downward facing dog. And we're gonna walk our hands all the way back to our feet. We're gonna take Padahastasana. So you're gonna stand on tops of your feet. So the toes are at the crease of your wrists, and you're standing on the backs of your feet. So we're just giving the wrists a break now because they've been folded one direction this whole time. So now we're going to stand on them. From your inhale, the heart reaches, spine long. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the sides and fold the chest in towards the thighs. Releasing the wrists. Good, and then step the hands out, hands on your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. All right, you guys, we have one more balancing pose. So coming to the top of your mat. From here, take the feet just underneath your sits bones, maybe a little bit wider. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees a whole bunch. You're gonna clasp your right toe with your right thumb, index, and pointer finger. So it's like the peace sign fingers, you're gonna grab that big toe. Take your left hand to your hip, bend the knees super deep, and as you exhale, stand on your left leg and lift the right leg up. So check in that your spine is long first. Good, and then take the leg out in front of you, and any bend in the knee. So your flexibility has nothing to do with your character, so there's no need to judge yourself or say anything funny to yourself if you don't have good balance right now. And then from here, go ahead, open that up towards the side. Engage outer left glute. Any amount of bend in that leg is fine. Few breaths. If you fall, just get up. And then bring it back to center. From here, you're gonna grab the outside of the foot with your left hand. You're gonna take your right hand to your hip, and you're gonna start to straighten the leg. Find your twist. And then if you'd like to take the right arm out, find your twist towards the right. You're pressing the right leg forward. Few breaths. If you can't reach your foot right now, no big deal. You're just gonna grab your knee. What we're looking for is the balancing part, not the leg extension part. That part just makes it fun. Few breaths, find your version. Good, and then from here, bring yourself forward. Hold the knee into your chest. Hold the knee into your chest, big breath in, engage the left leg. Inhale, arms reach to the ceiling. Exhale, take the right leg on top of the left. Now you're gonna take the right arm underneath the left. Wrap it up for eagle pose. Good, take your thumb to your third eye, and then sink deep in the hips. Big breath in. As you exhale, draw the navel in, scoop the ribs, think of hollowing out your belly, that same protraction again in the shoulders, and then touch your knee to your elbow. Few breaths there. Single pointed focus. Inhale, lift the heart. Good, as you exhale, unravel the leg, unravel the arms, lift the right arm up, hold it, reach the right arm up. Good, just to add on, we're gonna take that right foot to the inside of the left thigh, find tree pose, pull the belly in, hands to heart. So if your foot is touching your knee, I want you to go down to your shin. And if that's still too hard, you can touch the mat here. Any version, any amount. Nice, hands on your hips. Lift the right leg up. Take it on top of the left knee. Sink deep. And then we'll find this hip opener. So single-legged chair. So the front foot, the right foot has to be flexed a whole bunch to bypass the knee and get into the hip. The chest is up, sink the heart deep. Few breaths. And if you want to put the elbows onto the shin and find some version of flying pigeon, you can find that. If you don't know what that is, or you're afraid of it, whatever you want, dive into it or don't. Play with your version. Otherwise, you stay right here. And then slowly press yourself up, shake your leg out, do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. And then we do the left side. Good job, you guys. All right. From the left side, inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees a whole bunch. Clasp the big toe, the peace finger, and the thumb. Hand on the right hip. Bending the knee, shift the weight into the right leg, lift yourself up. Lift your chest. Try to lift that knee up with it. Good, now take the leg out in front of you. Try to pull the left shoulder into the socket. Firm the outer gluteus medius of the right leg. Few breaths. And then from here, you can open up to the side wall. Engage the quad. Nice. And then from here, bring it back to center. Maybe you switch the clasp. So the right hand takes the outside of the left foot. Maybe it's the knee over here. From here, straighten the leg, find your twist. Remember that you're not locking the standing leg. You're engaging quad, gluteus medius. Your calves are active. Good, flex the leg. Bring yourself slowly back to center. Hug the knee in a whole bunch. Lift the arms up. Take that left leg on top of the right, single or double bind, start to bend. Take the left arm underneath. Good, big breath in, and then exhale, sink deep. Once you're there, pull the belly in, slowly round your spine, and think of scooping out the belly, touch the elbow to the knee, finding your balance, using the inner and outer ankles, single pointed focus. Good, inhale, rise up. Bring yourself all the way up. Unravel, lift your knee high. Lift your knee high, high, high. Now open it up out to the side, flex the foot, put it on top of the knee. We're almost there. Hands to the heart. Sink deep, finding that single-legged chair. Remember, flex this foot to bypass the knee. You should feel it in the hip. Take the elbows either to the shins and stay there. Flex the foot a whole bunch or find some version of flying pigeon. Slowly bring yourself up. All the way up. Lift the leg, shake it out. Do the Macarena. And then come back to the top of the mat. Nice job, you guys. You guys are crushing it. You're so good. From here, inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Slowly lower through your chaturanga. Lay all the way down onto your belly. So we're going to take our back bends on our mat this way. So from here, right leg lifts up. Extend it as far back as you can. Open up the right hip flexor. Good. Inhale, left leg up. Extend it back as far as you can. Left hip flexor. Drag the chest forward with the arms. And then from here, you're going to reach back, grab the fingertips, interlace, drop the head down first. So it's so important that all 10 toes are going to stay on the mat. All 10 toes stay on the mat. Now touch your tailbone and think of pressing your tailbone towards your heels. So you press your tailbones towards your heels, you pull the lower belly in, big breath in, and then shoot the hands back, lift your heart. All 10 toes touch the ground. Inhale, reach up through the heart. All 10 toes are still touching the ground, engaging your quads. And then exhale, release. Take the right cheek down to the mat. Switch the lacing of the hands. Big breath in, push your tailbone towards the heels, all 10 toes on the mat. Exhale, lift your chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the hands further back. Exhale, slowly lower. Left cheekbone to the mat. Now this time you're going to engage your hamstrings, flex your feet, grab the outside of each ankle. Once you grab the outside of each ankle, before you come up, I want you to think of squeezing your knees together and then flex your feet a whole bunch. Now remember how we just pointed our tailbone towards the heels? Do that again. Point your tailbones towards the heels. Good. Inner thighs stay close together. Big breath in, and as you exhale, press the feet into the hands and lift your chest. So tailbone moves towards the heels. You're not opening your knees a whole bunch. The inseam of the thigh is rolling towards the ceiling, but trying to touch each other. Press the feet and the shins into the hands. Lift up, lift your chest. Big breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Release it down. We're going to do 2 more of those. So remember to release the tailbone towards the heels. Good. From here, clasp the ankles. Big breath in. Exhale, kick the shins into the hands, lift your chest. Arms straight and strong. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, slowly lower. 1 more like that. Grab the outsides of the heels, ankles, I'm sorry. Try to squeeze the feet closer to each other, the knees closer to each other. Big breath in. Exhale, press up. And then slowly release. Nice. From here, put your hands down on the sides of your mat. Press yourself up into downward facing dog. So good, you guys. From here, inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot. Take it to the outside. I'm sorry, take the left foot to the left hand, the right foot to the left hand, and the right knee towards the right hand. So you set yourself up for single leg pigeon. And we're just gonna take this for a moment. So, because we did a lot of hip openers when we did our malasana, when we did our single-legged chair. So we're just gonna dive into this for a moment, see how it feels. Drop in towards the elbows. Make sure you're on top of your left leg. And then slowly walk yourself out. And so we're winding down our practice. And so see if you can still stay tuned in as we start to slow things down. Try not to worry about what's happening outside or after this, what kind of meals you have to cook or chores you have to do. Just stay present in this. And then slowly walk yourself up. From here, you're gonna tuck the left toes, kick the right leg back. Find your down dog, let the blood just move through the hip for a moment. Lift the left leg up. Big breath in, take the knee to the outside of the left wrist and then the left foot towards the right. Go ahead, slowly start to walk yourself out. So what's so important again is that you're on top of your your right thigh. Once you're there, it doesn't really matter how far you go down. It matters that your hips are starting to open towards the floor. Once you find a comfortable place, you can slowly start to walk yourself out. And I think a lot of us are probably spending more time in flexion. We're probably sitting more, we're Netflix and chilling more, we're addicted to Ozark or the Tiger King, or we're trying to get as much work as done as possible on our computer, so we're sitting a lot, so this hip area is probably very closed. We also store a lot of our emotional stuff in our root and sacral chakra, which is right around the hips. So sometimes this can be triggering. This can bring up a lot of stuff. Just breathe through it. And then slowly just roll yourself up. This time you're gonna rock your weight onto your left hip. Swing the legs out in front of you, and then shake some of that out. Shake some of that out, maybe pound the thighs a little bit. Pull the fleshy part away, and then inhale the arms up, big breath in. Exhale, slowly start to hinge forward, lift your heart, and then drop in however you can. So maybe you wanna be super up tall, long spine, heart forward, and you wanna kind of feel this in your back, in your lower back, or maybe you wanna fall all the way in and feel this in your super deep lower lumbar. So find whatever feels good to you. Remember, try not to force it, just kind of breathe into it. And then slowly roll yourself up. You're gonna take both of your thighs, open them, but bring the soles of your feet together. We're gonna find Baddha Konasana. So try to get your sits bones a little closer to your heels. Sit up nice and tall, big breath in, and as you exhale, press the elbows into the insides of your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart, and then exhale, start to lower the chest down, even though the spine is extending. So we're looking for space in the spine. And then once you have that, maybe you can take your hands out a little bit further. And then slowly roll yourself up. Let's take one more Paschimottanasana. Shake the legs out again. Pull the fleshy part away. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Drop the head. And then slowly roll yourself up. So once you're up, take a look at your feet for a second. Check out your quarantine pedicure. Give it some love. Take your hands and just massage your toes for a moment. So maybe you're quarantined and you're not getting a lot of deep pressure touch. And so touching yourself, rubbing yourself can be medicinal. It can be healing. Think of all the times that you've put your hands on somebody and you've gone to massage them or hug them and they've told you, oh, that feels so good. You can feel that good to you too if you give yourself the same love. So give yourself some love. And then as you massage the arches of your feet, give yourself some love. And as you move the love and gratitude and appreciation for this vessel up your ankles, and you move and massage that energy through your calves, and maybe you've had a love-hate relationship with pieces of your body that we're massaging, just spend time in the love area and send gratitude that we still have these limbs, that we have this health, that we are healthy enough to be able to move our bodies and find some kind of a release. Massaging up through your quads, your big, beautiful thighs, massaging them and having gratitude for them and thanking them for doing all the fun things that you do. Maybe you dance, maybe you skate, maybe you snowboard, maybe you surf, maybe you go running. Whatever it is, just appreciate your legs for a moment for all that they are. And then move that energy, that gratitude up over your belly, move it across your divine feminine and divine masculine, your sexual essential energies, all of your reproductive organs, your digestive tract, just massaging gratitude for that space, for that container. And as you move that gratitude up the belly, massage to the solar plexus, where your creativity is, that center of your being that houses all of the muscles of compassion and empathy and forgiveness and courage, your red flags, your indicators, all of those things, your intuition, massaging gratitude for that area. Massaging into your lower lumbar. And if there's any soreness or stiffness or arthritic feelings or stories that doctors have given you, can you massage love and healing energy into that area of your body? Massaging and touching and being grateful for this vessel. And just moving, coming back to our practice, coming back to the beginning, that energy of gratitude and appreciation, letting that vibration move through us. And as you move that, rub across the belly, let that come up towards the heart space, and just go ahead and put both hands on your heart space for a moment. And imagine that you could push through your chest and you could physically touch your own heart, and you could breathe more love and gratitude into your heart space. And so the connection between you and heart is stronger than the connection between you and mind. And so as we move through this new landscape, and we navigate through this new strange territory, if we find ourselves up in our mind, we have this opportunity to breathe back down and connect to our heart. And we move from our truth, from our heart space, and then we massage that energy out across our collarbones. And as we massage across our collarbones, we let our confidence muscles get wider and bigger and more expansive, and just honor that it's actually a gift to be alive right now. That we were chosen to be here during this time, that we have what it takes to get through it. That we're strong enough, we are resilient enough, we are courageous enough, we are willing to surrender to the process and do our best no matter what comes at us. And so have gratitude and confidence that we are able to withstand whatever's coming our way. Moving that energy across the collarbones with the chest open, and then just go ahead and roll yourself all the way down onto your mat, finding yourself in your final resting pose for Shavasana. So we're gonna take the body all the way down to the mat. We're gonna let gravity do its work, and just let the legs fall wide, let the toes fall out, soften the tailbone underneath you, and then consciously lift up your right scapula, tuck it underneath you. Lift up your left scapula, tuck it underneath you. Let the palms fall up so that they can receive all the benefits of your practice. And again, in this open, vulnerable space, allow yourself to drop all the way in. If you have something to cover your eyes, I invite you to cover them. Otherwise, just close them. And then find your final pose. Corpse pose, resting pose, Shavasana. hold was community. My community is supportive, loving, and active in the world. We're often more resourceful than we think, with abundant support all around us. No matter how big or small, it's empowering to have a circle of like-minded people in our life who are supportive, loving, and active in the world. Whether you have a strong community or you're craving community, this card has appeared to reconnect you to the power of tribe and your ability to call it in. Friends or family, near or far, your community is what you make of it. Be willing to reach out and welcome others in. The collective wisdom of community inspires and motivates us all, whilst also stretching our comfort zone. Together, we can hold each other accountable for becoming our best self, reflect areas we still need to develop, and nurture our belief in one another. Community is love, community is growth, community is tribe and family. And so gently starting to bring your focus back to your breath. Maybe rubbing the tips of your fingers together. Keeping the eyes closed, roll yourself onto your left side or your right side, whatever's comfortable for you, in a fetal position. And then just honoring that we visit corpse pose, and it's an awesome opportunity to take a minute and remind ourselves of all the versions that we have had to be, all the ways we've adapted, all the things we absorbed, so that we could survive whatever life has been giving us. So we collect this tool belt, and we have all these different tools, but sometimes the tool belt gets a little heavy and the tools are outdated. And so we can be mindful and honor that we don't need to keep every single tool anymore. So what piece of you, what version of you can you thank and be grateful for, but leave it behind you so that you can lighten your load, so that you can move a little bit more freely and gracefully in your human experience. So mindfully reminding yourself of a piece of you that you can let go of, like a snake shedding its skin. Use your left hand to push yourself back up to seated, and we come back to the top of our mat, either sitting cross-legged or in hero's pose on your shins. Taking the hands to your heart, and we'll seal our practice in with one more collective Om. Deep breath in from root to crown, and we'll exhale for Om. Bowing your head, chin into your chest, thanking yourself for being here, for showing up, for honoring your time and your space. Taking your hands from your third eye to your lips and then your heart, shining the light of our community, of our yoga, through what we think, what we say, and in what we do. Excellent job, you guys. Namaste.